Welcome back to the Wedding Pro Podcast. My name is Tim Anderson, photographer and owner of Whole Heart Studio. You can find us at Wedding Photo NJ on Instagram. And today we're going to be talking all the wedding stuff. I have with me a couple of guests here. Go ahead, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Bree, a content creator.
I'm Emma, also wedding content creator.
And so you guys have come on like a bunch of weddings with me.
Yes.
So you've kind of gotten the feel for like really what a whole wedding day is, and like, you know, different places and things to capture. And so one of the things that I feel like I want to kind of talk about is like what separates wedding content creation from, like, let's say, like wedding videography.
I feel like the wedding content creation, you are able to capture a lot more like specific emotions throughout the day. Like the regular wedding video, it kind of just like is a nice like highlight video of the entire day, and depending on the type of photographer, they have like their different styles. Like someone can make it very like cinematic, someone can make it like different. But it's mostly just kind of like a little video, however long, that's like of the whole day. But with the as a wedding content creator, like you're capturing the little behind the scenes stuff for the bride and groom to see like afterwards, like little moments that might not make it into a wedding video, but are appreciated by the couples.
Yeah.
Because they can see it and they're like, oh, that was like a really cute moment.
Yeah, it's very true. There's so much stuff that I get as like the wedding day videographer, and I'm getting as much like good video as I can throughout the day. But at the end of the day, only a fraction of that really makes it into like their highlight film and stuff like that. So, for couples that are, they're looking for, this is like one of those terms. They're like, oh, do you have the raws? Do you give like the raw files and stuff like that? And typically the answer is like, no, most videographers, they don't really offer raw files, but this is actually a really good way for couples to have like
These
a lot
are
more
kind
of
of
the
like,
day.
yeah, raw.
Yeah.
Because it's like we mostly shoot like on phones, so it's very easy to have on your phone and very easy to look at like within the next day.
Right.
And they can consider it like the raw videos.
Yeah, 100%. And so that's the other thing too that you mentioned, which is like the turnaround time. So like what's typical turnaround time if you were like going to shoot a wedding day and then put together just a bunch of little like reels and short videos that are like ready to go out, but then also give them like the entire like gallery of like folder of everything.
Well, the typical turnaround is either 24 to 48 hours after we shoot the content. And in order to do that, we have to get going, do editing right away after the day is done. So it could be tedious, but it's fun because you know that you're getting it in a rapid amount of time for these couples to see their day a day or two afterwards.
Yeah. For me, I'm not getting a highlight video done. And I try to get their highlight photos done in that amount of time. Like I wish I could do like 48 hours. That's like the goal is like as soon as I can to like get as many awesome like highlight photos out as I can. But usually it might take me like, let's say if the wedding is on like a Saturday, like it might take me until like Wednesday or Thursday to actually like finally like process everything. Cause it's like thousands of photos. So, same thing on the, video side, like there's like a couple hundred clips at least that you're going through, whereas like something that is recorded on a phone that was meant to be posted, like right to social media, it's already in the format that you need it for you to like, if you're like, oh, I want like this video and this video and then put them together and make like a little thing myself out of like just some of these clips that I got. Or if you're like, oh, the reels and the highlights that, the content creators put together, like that's perfect for me to share right away because like I'm excited. Like my wedding just happened and I want to share something and I don't want to wait like maybe the 4 weeks that it would take for me to get my video back. That's going to be definitely a lot more polished. But this is going to give you something that like in the moment, in that excitement, you can share it right away.
And I definitely think like with the videos, like you easily can get in the back like the next day, like just all of like the videos that we filmed. Because like when filming, you kind of just like you're keeping it in your mind. At least for me, when I'm like filming, I have it in my mind of like, oh, I can use this for a specific like video that we make. But I'm also like filming, so it's like whatever they might want to post and not like a long like video that I would have to like cut up and chop to save time. But definitely like if your wedding was like Friday night, I would say Saturday by the end of the day, like easily you can have all of like the videos, and then by like Sunday night, personalized videos where it's like we make a little highlight video from them if like they want to post. Because like we're getting it out to post it for us.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's nice too. Like if there's anything that we can like collab post on, but also too it gives them the freedom to like you can post whatever you want, the stuff that you like in the parts of the day, but even just to have like those little moments all in like one like folder and you know you can kind of access that right away and also whenever you want to me that's like such a huge value. This is a very new thing in terms of like the wedding industry. It's probably only like been around for maybe like a few years, I would say, to where it was like more common. I remember like however many years back, and like people in the photography community would be like, you know, people are going out and they're doing weddings on their phones and this is ridiculous. And it's like, but the phones are really like that good nowadays that
the quality is like improving like within each phone. So
I mean, even compared to, you know, we use like the DJI for some stuff as well. And I mean, sometimes like the phone is a little bit easier to like, to like get those shots that you need and control it a little bit better than a camera that's on a gimbal and you're trying to kind of like
I prefer
work with it. So it's like you're already familiar with it. But yeah, so what parts of the day, I'll let you each kind of answer, but like what parts of the day do you feel like are your favorite to either like capture or put together?
Well, my favorite is always prep because I feel like that's where most of the details of the wedding comes from. Like even just with like the mini things, just like their rings, getting photos of their, or more like so video of their invitations and like the menu that's gonna be. I feel like that's also just like a key factor that not a lot of people think that they're gonna see, but like that's all another way that we can showcase their day because they also personalize those things for that day.
Yeah.
Another thing I like showing because it's prep is also their flowers. I feel like a lot of people don't really notice, but I feel like nowadays people are getting more creative with their bouquets, and I feel like we should showcase more of that with our content that we're shooting.
Yeah, the details, to me, like that is part of what like makes the whole story, because you have the things that are going to happen no matter what. So you have your ceremony and the portraits, like your family portraits and couples portraits. Those things are going to happen no matter what. But those things in itself, like, don't really tell like the whole story outside of it. And so I feel like it's almost everything outside of those like absolute, like, you know, the things that first thing you think of when you consider a wedding. I really do feel like it's a lot more of everything else that helps to put the whole story together and really like make it unique to every couple. But yeah, what about do you have a favorite?
I was trying to think. I don't know if I had like a favorite moment like to film. I personally love like just filming all like the little candid reactions, candid moments, like so during the prep, like any candid moments of like the bride with like her mom or her sisters or her bridesmaids, the ceremony. Like, I like catching those little moments. 'Cause that's like something even like in my own life, like with regular photography that I would choose to do. Like, I like kind of being like on the side and the back and just being like, you look really cute, I'm catching that.
Yeah. That's a lot more my style anyway. Like the word candid is such like a
I love
buzzword,
candid.
but when people hear that, they're like, that's what I want. That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for. And those are like those little moments that are, I had talked on a podcast about this like a little while ago, but I feel like the in between moments like are the parts that again they like help to build the whole story, because it's like these little conversations on the side, kind of how you mentioned, or I was saying like you have like kids running around, or you have like even things like the florist is like putting flowers on the arch, and like that putting together of the day. It's not like the full finished product, but it's all the stuff that like goes into it that like as a bride like you probably don't see a lot of that stuff, and most of the stuff you don't see. So as you're going through some of these clips, you're like, oh, this is so cool. I have this, and I didn't even know that was going on or that happened. So
Plus I feel like the little candid moments, like if I were to hire someone that's like a wedding content creator, I would want to have those moments, because then it's like I can see it, and then like I'll send it to that family member or that friend, and it's just like, look how cute we were. Like that was like, I feel like that's like sweeter.
Yeah.
Obviously all the other stuff, it's still like good, because it like, it shows the whole day like being put together or put in action.
Yeah.
But I love the little candids.
Do you, because like everybody's kind of different, and this is one of the interesting things I think about like wedding day content creation, is like you're taking like kind of one category or like one broad like blanket, but there might be some things that like mean more to some couples or some brides than to other brides. So for instance, like there's some trends and things like that where you might want to have like some things like premeditated where okay, like we're gonna start with this video, and we're gonna save it to drafts and then like finish it to like to utilize it for this trend, but then you might have other couples that are like a little bit more laid back and a little bit more like they just want the day documented, and so like do you feel like you kind of see that that balance where you're like, okay, they're a little bit more reserved and I got to lean a little bit more this way, or oh, they're really into like some of the trends and some of like the the things that are like popular in terms of like on social media, so I want to make sure I get a little bit more of that stuff.
Like you're asking if like when we're there we can kind of like sense it from them?
Yeah, basically like get a feel for either earlier in the day when you're talking to them, or whatever it is, like you're like, oh, okay, these are like kind of the couples that like prefer for me to just kind of like hang back and be like almost like a fly on the wall and get things as they're happening, as opposed to like, okay, now you're gonna like do this dance move and everybody's gonna like jump at the same time, kind of a thing.
I don't think I personally am able to like sense that. I feel like if anything, it's like seeing where we are, like where they're getting ready. If they're like at a location getting ready, then maybe they would be kind of like that. They would be into it. If it's like they're getting ready like at their house, it's just kind of like they're just getting ready for their day. Like I don't.
Yeah.
You.
No, I also think the same as you, because sometimes I can't tell. But sometimes if I talk with the photographer that's on that day, I could also ask, like, since they already know the couple, I could also ask how the couple they are like as a whole. But then sometimes I'm not sure even when I talk to the photographer. So then I was like, I just have to feel it out and see what's best. Yeah.
I also think like if the couple knows that like a wedding content creator is coming on, like obviously they wouldn't maybe not like have it in their mind of I want to do this trend, but I feel like if you're a bride that kind of wants it, maybe make it in your mind, or like tell somebody to be like, hey, like, can you remember, because like she might, because it's like a whole big day, but if she like tells one of her bridesmaids that doesn't have like a task,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like it's kind of like, oh, let's like tell the photographer or the videographer, like whoever's the wedding content creator, like, I'm interested, can you like do it for, like, help us
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. And there's sometimes too where like I'm able to kind of give the lead and say like, all right, I kind of, for this spot, I have everything that I need. Like, do you have anything that you want to get? And there might be some things where you're like, oh yeah, actually, you know what? Like, let me have you stand in this way. Let me have
that's
you
a
like
good,
interact in this way.
because then like we can ask like, do you want it, like, we have these ideas, like, are you interested in doing that? Like, that gives like a nice.
And I appreciate it so much when I feel like I've been getting more of this lately where my couples are just like more direct, where they're like, that's okay, we don't want to do that. And I'm like, that's okay. Thank you for telling me. I would prefer, like, don't entertain me. Don't, this is not for me. Like, these, you know, these photos are, they're for you. So yeah. What has it been like? Because you've worked with me specifically for a lot of the weddings, and obviously, you know, that's something that you got to kind of like work together on to make sure that, like, you know, you're standing in the right spot that you need to, that's like not interfering with anything, because that's like a huge part. So like, what are some of like the challenges that you feel like you run into, and then also like, what are some of the things that you feel like is like a benefit of you've already worked with me so many times, you know, to work with me again, you kind of have an idea of, you know, what that's like, what to expect, and, you know, kind of how I typically like the flow of the day goes.
I feel like for a benefit, it's that like I know how you kind of move around during photos, like during a ceremony. Like, I've seen you move, like you'll be here, and then it's like when you're on the side, like I can be in the middle because you want someone like kind of always there. Like, you had said that when you would have like a second shooter with us.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's in the middle, and then it's like,
Oh yeah.
but preps, portraits, like I know where you're kind of gonna be, so I'm able to kind of like go around. Personal challenge. I always feel like I'm in the way. Anything I do, like even life, I feel like I'm in the way. So that's like a step that I'm still trying to get over.
But one of the things though is,
so it's like I kind of need to be in the way to get the shots.
Yeah, one of the things that, and this is like something that occurred to me, I don't know how long ago, but you realize like, oh, as a wedding photographer, I always get the best spot. I always have the most ideal view, whether that is like their speeches or ceremony or whatever. Like, I can be wherever I need to be. The benefit of the way that I work is I'm pretty like kind of run and gun, where I can move around wherever I need to. But yeah, it kind of works the same for you. So I might be like the top priority for the most part, but you guys also should be looking for like the other best spot. Like, if I have, you know, this spot, and maybe it's like we're shooting kind of from the same angle, and we're like kind of shoulder to shoulder in one spot, because that makes the most sense. But yeah, also too, sometimes it's like just being like, oh, okay, like he's getting that, I got that already. Like, what else can I get that's also like gonna make things interesting and be something that's like not already, like, it's not redundant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm always trying to like look around.
Yeah.
And figure out like where to stand.
Any challenges or like for you specifically, or Bree, or do you feel like anything that is like a benefit of having worked with me on so many weddings?
Well, something I feel like it's a benefit. I feel like now that I've gotten used to being with you on weddings is that I feel like now I know where to get these shots, and also how long I can hold, like, record for. Because sometimes I can't have these clips be so long, so it's easier to know how short these clips can be. But something I fear Wait, what was the second one? The second one.
Like a challenge, and then that you have, and then like a benefit
Okay.
of like working with me on however many weddings.
And I do have the same like difficulty where I feel like I am in the way, and most of the times I am in the way. So, but I know when to move like as fast as I can to the next possible spot.
I
Yeah.
feel like as long as you're not in the way of him,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I have it in my head of like I'm in the way of the people that are there.
Which
I'm
is
like, you know
like
what?
sometimes
I'll
you
get a better shot than your cell phone. It's
for
fine.
sure.
It's
And
fine.
sometimes you do feel like, all right, you want to be considerate of like the guests that are there, but also too, if like that's a spot,
wanna get
then
the shot.
you just kind of like that's where you got to be, and that's okay. And what I used to do like earlier in my career was I would, for certain things like let's say first dances or speeches, whatever, what have you, I would kind of move around a lot. And now I feel like it can be a little bit disruptive. And so what I do is like I just try to find the best spot, and I will change my my angle in terms of like whether it's like a wider view or I'm focusing on like different subjects and things like that, to switch it up and give variety without being so distracting. Because like especially things like ceremony, like you should be as quiet as possible in the room, and I think that's where you guys are like you are supposed to be there, but you're also supposed to kind of almost like
I'm trying to be,
not
like,
really be
invisible.
heard or seen, like you're invisible as much as you can be. But it's a good thing so that everybody else can actually like still enjoy the ceremony or whatever it is, and not feel like oh, like these people are just
I
like
hate when I'm like when it's like a church ceremony and I'm walking around, you just hear my footsteps because it's like the type of floor and it's just that quiet in there, and I'm like,
I mean, I've
I'm not
definitely
here, I
learned
promise.
to just like
I'm like
ninja around. At most, you might hear like my little like harness is a little squeaky. I might have to get a new one eventually, but yeah, really, I don't know if you wanted to add anything.
I do want to say I love when like the MCs or the officiants during the wedding ceremony, they say to let the aisle clear so we can go around. I love when they say that because then it's easier to
or
not be
like
distracted.
to like for the unplugged ceremonies.
oh yeah, they're like
have your phones
don't
away.
put your phones out. Like we have people there. I remember one of the weddings. What was the place? The Shore NJ
Shore Club.
Shore Club maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. It was like one of like the first or second,
Mhm.
like one of the beginning weddings I went on.
Yeah,
with you.
we're in Spring Lake.
Yes.
Mhm.
The ceremony, like the priest,
He's
funny
so good,
guy.
but yeah,
Fun guy.
he's so.
But
easy
he
to,
literally he like shouted out like all of us that were there, like the photographers, the videographers, even me, and I'm like, oh, wait, thanks. But they're like, don't worry about it. Like we have a photographer here, we have a videographer. Like there's people here that are like gonna capture what you're gonna want, and then it's like nicer when they're like, put your phones down because then it's not in the shot.
You should be in the moment. You should
Yeah.
be, but also too, you're gonna be in the picture with a phone in front of your face, and it looks out of place. It looks like you're not present. And I've definitely seen plenty of examples of shots that were ruined because somebody's sticking a phone out in the aisle.
I love it when they literally say, when they have a sign where somebody says like, unplugged wedding, put your phones down, and then it's like you see someone's like uncle, and it's like
there's some people they just gotta do it.
It's okay, that's why we're here.
But it is what it is, because like I know there's some people that are like, I want it on my phone, I want to have it, and like that's their
I get
whatever that. So it's very important to them, and you don't want to, but at the same time you want to feel like it's okay to just like enjoy it and be in the moment, and that like everything's like all covered. But yeah, speaking of like just kind of like being invisible in the room, I saw a video recently of like some of these rigs I feel like are getting a little ridiculous. You've seen what I work with the day of. It's like 2 cameras on my side,
It's like
and
nothing.
if I need to, then I'll have a tripod that just kind of gets those main shots of like uncut footage. But I've seen people that were like filming with these giant rigs, and they're on the dance floor, and I'm like, they're like moving around too, and they're circling around for the first dance, and I'm just like, I know they're getting so close to them, but also this giant contraption is, there's no way it's not a
That's a
distraction
lot.
from like, yeah. And so you think about like, oh, we spent all of this money and all this time, and they'll put all this thought into having this nice choreographed dance, and like you want to have it captured, but sometimes like the way that we're capturing it, to me, is like I would prefer it over somebody that is coming with like Hollywood gear and camera rigs and all this crazy stuff, that it kind of makes it feel like this whole production, and much less like
Because that could also
Wedding.
make like the
yeah,
guests feel like
a ceremony day
uncomfortable.
that's being documented.
Or like even the couple themselves, like 'cause it's
Yeah.
like it's that much, and it's like, ooh, wait,
Yeah.
like they might not feel like, even though they hired them,
Right.
they could be like,
Yeah, some of
Kinda
these videographers, like they really like, I'm sure they're doing a fantastic job, but I just wonder if it was my wedding, and if it was my first dance, and I had, just some people, like you have a little Ronin that you're working with, and you're trying to move around. To me, the circling around the dance, that to me is like a very, very distracting thing. If you can do it discreetly, but I've seen it in the videos, and I'm just like,
I feel like I would
I've-
hate it in the video because it's just like it's constantly moving, and
Yeah.
it's like
it feels
keep it
so
still.
it feels so unnecessary. It feels like
it
something
will
that,
spin. It's fine.
yeah, it feels like something that was like, that was cool, like when these gimbals first were coming out, and it was like, oh, you can do so much stuff that you maybe weren't able to do before. But yeah, the way that I feel like the way that we, document everything is definitely a lot more of like discreet, and just kind of making sure we're getting everything we need to, but without being like look at us
Yeah.
with all of our stuff. So it's just, that's just me. That's
Yeah,
just me.
like small as possible,
Right.
so they don't know I'm there.
Yeah. I have seen some of like these people going around with drones, like, and I've seen one where it was like, oh man, I don't know if it was like one of the POV drones, but he was just like literally like flying around like the dance floor with
a
this was like an
drone?
outdoor wedding, not in person. I'm talking about like just like I've seen on social media, and like to me that's pretty cool. Like I've seen the shot, that looks epic, and I would imagine maybe it might be a little bit of like like if you're a guest, you're like, what the heck is that? But probably a lot less distracting than like, at the end of the day, as long as your attention is like on the actual like dance itself. But I don't know. Speaking of POV, like just talking about behind the scenes and stuff like that, literally one of my favorite things that I've gotten for me to get like some stuff is the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Those things, how cool is it? Like to just like see exactly what I'm seeing on like the day of, and be like, oh, like this is what it's like if you were gonna like hybrid shoot a wedding and do all this like back and forth and switching, and like it's a lot, especially like I think of like the like ceremonies when they're like coming down the aisle, and I'm like switching back and forth. I feel like I was never able to really like get a lot of that stuff before. And then even Caitlin, she's coming on, Badana, she's the coordinator. She's coming on like for the next podcast. She saw one of my videos. She was considering getting the Meta glasses, and then she ended up getting. That was the next time that I saw her. She was like, "Oh, I got them," and she said the same thing. She's just like, it's just a cool perspective to give to potential like couples that are like, "Oh, what is it like to, yeah, for a day?" But it's cool. You get a lot of cool stuff.
I think it's cool. I always remember thinking like, wherever I'm like out somewhere, I'm like, I wish my like eyes can just like take a picture, because like
Right.
I'd be doing something and I'm like, wait, I kind of wish I like filmed that, because it's like kind of cool.
Yeah.
If I
For
had the
somebody to be
glasses, I
able to,
literally could. I'd just be like,
Click.
okay.
it's been very convenient. I have everything. I have GoPros and action cameras and I mean like you name it. Little like attachments for like your phone to go on top of the camera, and that is the only thing that I have like used that I feel like I'm consistent. Like, oh, this is, it doesn't get in the way. I don't forget it. But yeah, it's just like a very easy thing. So like since we started posting that kind of stuff, I feel like that has just been like a whole new perspective that you can give to people that like, you know, because you get to see not just like what it's like for me to, you know, operate the cameras and stuff, but like also too sometimes my interaction with the couples and like what it's like to like, you know, like, oh, I'm showing them like a little preview of the pictures and they're like, wow, like you get their reaction. So that's been like a really cool thing. But yeah. What else? So anything that you want to talk about in terms of like, you know, wedding day content creation, or even if you wanted to go into it, because we're going a little bit into some of like the social media and stuff like that, and you guys also operate the social media for not just the studio but also for
Yes, we do.
Wedding Photo NJ, and so why don't you transition into some of that stuff, like the social media side of it?
Well, I love this question because I love figuring out how to map out the different clips that we make throughout the wedding day and how we can situate that throughout the week and how it could play out with these different couples. And since we're making the content creation for these couples for their wedding day, it's also like we do have to stay on top of trends that are present like in the moment. So say if there was a trend with a popular pop song and I'm seeing a lot of other content creators doing it, I also want to start copying them because with them doing that, I get their idea, copying it to our account,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps us boost a following, but also helps us gain a following,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of like ride a wave and see like what
It's gonna
things
work.
are like popular and things that, because ultimately like, it's kind of speaking to, you know, that like social media as a whole, like, you know, the influence of it, where you know, where do most couples really like, you know, find their photographers or find their vendors and things like that. You know, you're scrolling through and seeing like what's catching your eye, and so kind of like, you know, what you're saying is like, you know, being able to like see what's happening and like what the thing is at the time, and then being able to utilize that for stuff that, you know, that we can put out there to find new couples that would appreciate what we do, but also so that the couples that are, you know, being documented, they feel like, oh, like they're kind of part of this trend too, and they have something that is like relevant for the time that it's being posted, right?
Another thing that I feel like it's important for social media that I don't see a lot of people do, but it's not everyone that does it, but it's a majority of people who do it, is tagging the different vendors that come along with that wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So say Emma here was a hairstylist, tagging her and seeing people see our content and seeing the bride's hair, and they're like, "Oh, I like that hair. It's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should look who the hairstylist was." And they would see that it was Emma, and then Emma would also get clients from the content that we're also making.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a really good point, because it's like, although you're capturing everything, you you can't take credit for everything because it was like there's so many people that had a hand in whether it was like the flowers, the hair, the makeup, the getting people on the dance floor. Like there's so many people that I feel like are worth making sure that they're included in a lot of these posts that we make, and it's so it kind of helps and benefits everybody
Yeah.
to be able to like.
I was gonna say that, like, because it's like just simply tagging
Mhm.
all of it. That's not only helping couples and like brides like finding people for them, like finding their hairstylist, finding their photographer, finding someone that like fits their vibe,
Mhm.
but also helping like our social media just grow, because like if we get tagged in something from somebody else, when we post it to the story, we share it to our followers,
Mhm.
anybody new, and it's like, oh, coordinator, let me check
Yeah.
her out.
Yeah.
Like it helps everybody just like grow and be found.
Yeah.
Everyone?
Which is
I had a better word.
which is like a difficult thing to do when posts just tend to get like buried nowadays in in people's feed, and so and it shows like a little bit of appreciation, like, hey, like you did a good job and like we want to share this with you as well. For sure, that is definitely a good point. I agree. I agree totally. What else? Yeah, I've had people that have used some of my pictures as inspiration. Like this is like from other weddings, and they're like, I saw what you did here, and like this is like some of the stuff that I like from it. I've had people that book vendors based off of just stuff that we're posting and tagging them in. They're like, oh, I found this really cool like photo booth that's like a little like RV looking thing, and it's like a very unique thing. And one of the things that I mentioned on the last podcast was just that like one of the most difficult things to do sometimes is like you can do a good job of like everything else. If nobody sees it, then it's like, it ends up just kind of doing everybody a disservice, because at the end of the day, as good as I am, if nobody knows that I exist, then there's probably a lot of couples out there that may have booked me if they came across some of my pictures, and so yeah, that definitely applies to us, where we want to make sure like we're putting us out there as much as we can, but also the people that are all the people that are involved like deserve to be shouted out as much as possible.
Get their credit.
For sure. Yeah. Like you earned it, So I have an idea that I wanted to, and I think what'll happen is I wanna include for anybody in the month of November. If anybody books in the month of November, I will include a wedding day content creator.
Oh.
I'll just include it in your package.
What?
I mean, if you think that's a good idea.
Good. And you know what? November is a awesome month.
So you just have to
I'm a little biased.
have a meeting, sign your contract, put your deposit. But yeah, anybody that locks in for the whole month of November, I feel like, just to like give you guys your credit, because like you do a lot of cool stuff and I feel like more people really should consider, and especially like I, as a hybrid wedding photographer, videographer, that was kind of how this whole thing started with me, including video. It was like I felt for those couples that were like, oh, we don't need video, or like and they end up passing up on something that is like, it's really valuable. It like really at the end of the day is something that is should be worth considering. And so if it's just out of the budget, like it's it happens. But I think one of the things with content creation for wedding days is that's like a really good alternative if you're like video is just not something that we're sure that we want. But you know what? Like you can
like a lot of people have turned to wedding content creators instead of like a videographer because it is
you're still getting
cheaper alternative and you get a lot still. Yeah,
for sure. Like there might be some wedding content creators that are charging as much as a videographer charges. I think they're very different in what they do, and I am not. It's not to say like who is valued at what, but for the most part, I think there's a lot less production that goes into wedding content creation, and so if you're like, oh, we want a video, but we're just on the fence. Hopefully, maybe this is like a little incentive to to like, oh, you know what? Let me just check out. Let me set up a meeting, and plus,
if you book an engagement session with you,
that can be used as your deposit. I have somebody who is doing that right now. They just booked their engagement session because they're already engaged, but they're in the middle of planning everything in terms of like locking in the venue and things like that. So in the meantime, they were like, let's book you for the session, and if we like you, then we'll just book you for the wedding. And I was like, well, here's how that works. And I feel like there's not really, like, most of my couples end up just kind of booking the wedding package with the engagement session included already. And then we'll do the session. But to me, this is like a really good way to like test the product, see if you like me. Maybe you're like, oh, we thought we were gonna like him, and his weird.
A little bit weird. Never mind.
He's not for us. He's maybe I'm an acquired taste. The engagement session gives us a full like 2 hours. We don't have to take a full 2 hours, but I allocate a whole 2 hours so that we can
crucial bonding.
We can like, and I usually say this, like, I like it to just feel like we're hanging out. We're just hanging out, and then I'll be like, look at this cool spot over here, stand right there, and look this way. Or I'll like kind of guide you a little bit, and then we just go back to hanging out. And at the end of it, I get to show you all the cool stuff. It gives us plenty of time to like, you want to bring the dog, you bring the dog. If you want to, let's go to the boardwalk and downtown, and they're all like within this distance, and let's do an outfit change. It gives us time to do all those things. And if you can't get a feel for if you should work with me within that time, you get the pictures back and you're just like, meh. Like, then at that point, you paid for the session.
Yeah. Got
like,
some great
it's
pictures.
all good. Yeah, you got some
happy,
shots that you can use. But yeah, if you're like, oh, this is the guy, we have to lock him in. Then we just chat about the proposal. We go over like what package makes sense, if we have to like, shift some things around to customize it. But your session fee is your deposit. So all you have to do is like, you sign and you're good from there. And then you follow your payment plan. So just a cool incentive for anybody that would apply to. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for shouting that out. So really, I mean, if you were considering like booking at all in the month of November, you could book your engagement session, and if you end up deciding to use me for a wedding, don't have to make another deposit, and then you can also
link in the description.
You can also get wedding day content creation included in your package for free. Well, I'm still paying you guys, but for them, it's something that is a little bonus for just the month of November 2025. I want to emphasize that in case somebody is like watching this in the future. So
when is this dropping? November 3rd?
This is whatever next.
So it's already November.
Mondays.
This episode is already out. The month has already started.
Yeah.
Get ahead. Get on it.
Now.
Book your. Say yes to the wedding photographer.
Say yes to them.
I mean, I think
say yes to the dress. Say yes to the photographer.
No brainer. So, well, thank you for sitting down and chatting with me. This has been a pleasure, and I know that you didn't just do it because I paid you. This was out of the
No, I love-
generosity and
I
the
love
kindness of your heart.
podcasts.
Yeah,
I
this
love
is just
podcasts.
I
fun
would
to
do
do
this
in
over
general.
again. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah. But all right, so all the links, Emma will guide you where you got to go. Bree will put all the content out there so you know what to expect, and we will see you in the next one.